Yeah, I did two videos that are doing pretty good recently, you know.
Nice.
So I'm hoping, it keeps going that way. It says we should be live now. I'm gonna mute this tab. Okay, yeah, I think we're live. So I'll just do. Hold on, let me record it so like I have a copy, and I'll send you a copy too.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I took the day off yesterday because of Fred's passing and James, and I just wasn't feeling well. But me and Ken, it's like early here. It's like 9 a.m. on the East Coast, and we have an hour. Ken has to do something with his son in an hour, but we're gonna get this show in. And I have my good friend with me, Ken from We Are One podcast, and he has some really interesting stuff to talk about today. So I'm just gonna turn it over to him and thanks Ken for coming on. I met Ken in person, guys. We got to hang out at the Full Disclosure Now conference. I know I say that every time, but yeah. Anyway, so Ken, take it away, and thanks so much for coming on. How are
Hey
you?
guys, how's it going? I have an announcement to make. I've decided to, well, we'll see what happens, but I've decided to try to write a book. So went to a holistic convention about 2 weeks ago, and the guy read my palm and said basically that I need to write a book. I've been thinking about it. He says, well, um, you don't need to write a book like we used to, right? You don't need to write down the pages and take you 2 years to write a book. He says what you do is, and he gave me the outline. He says go find a literary whatever you call it. I wrote this stuff down, but basically he wants me to record myself for 2 minutes to 5 minutes every day. At the end of 2 months, he says you should have about 100 pages. So I didn't really know what I was going to write a book on. I mean, I have my crazy experiences, Rob, as you know, and some people have known and followed. But what actually came to me is, in my opinion, mind blowing. And I don't know if it's something that no one's ever thought about, but I'm going to title it. I believe I'm going to title it "Wireless: The Proof of God," and I'm going to go from here to there to try to put you in there, and then I want to see your reaction when I say this, because a lot of times when you hear things and it resonates with you, you don't put those connections together until the light turns on. And when the light turns on, a lot of times you're like, "Holy crap!" Like that's potentially life changing. So I think that this philosophy is potentially, or theory is potentially life changing for a lot of people, and we can talk about that. But um, I started down this road of, as you know, of questioning people's intentions, people's motivations, their cognitive process. And I am a philosopher, I guess. I guess you could label me that. I think about things that have to do with consciousness, and I put all the theories together until I get something that makes sense to me. And I've been traveling down this road of cognition, potentially for NPCs or for just consciousness for a while. And again, this theory kind of hit me, and I didn't expect it to be like this, but I just go ahead and say it. Um, I think I think an intelligent creator. Um, well, let me back up for a second. I want to let you guys have that cliffhanger for a second. Um, inner monologue has something that is potentially something that can differentiate people. I don't want to say that there's people are all people are soulless, or they have cognition, or their consciousness level is a certain way, but inner monologue, we talked about this a little bit too, Rob, about people who don't have any inner monologue. They don't have any thoughts in their head. You look at them and they're glazed. You tell somebody about a Mandela effect and they're like, and then they run away. It's one of
Yeah.
those things where you're like, what are they thinking? And you look at people in traffic or driving a car and you're like, what are they thinking? Like, is anything going on in their head? And so that takes you into these experiments, and these researchers who have done the work, which I'm going to piggyback on, obviously, but they've done the work on inner monologue, and people have done experiments about what percentage of people have inner monologue. Do you talk to yourself? Can you visualize things? Can you see an apple? Those are one of the experiments now. Is can you visualize an apple, taking a bite out of an apple? And some people say they can't even do that. So it could be anywhere from 80% to 50%, 60% around there. But there's a large amount of people who, yeah, Rob, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, I
So,
have a really active imagination. And I feel like it's like real. When I had like those like entities attaching to me or whatever it was, to me it felt like energy. Like now I can kind of destroy them. Like I can, if it's on me, like I can imagine something like a hand coming and grabbing it and just destroying it, or I can imagine setting things on fire. Like sometimes when I smoke weed, I'll have like astral visions and I'll see things and I like entities and stuff, and I can like kind of like blow them out of my reality and stuff like that. So like my imagination's become like extremely active. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that.
yeah,
Like
no, I think that's important because what the premise for my book is not only the inner monologue piece, but it's the stages of cognition, not just consciousness, but cognition, how we think, how we can interact. What are the stages of cognition? Is the first stage of cognition potentially that there's no voice, it's completely silent, and we're just running on the program? Is that a proof of not having a soul or cognition or a consciousness evolution? Um, and then a lot of the ancient Gnostic teachings are about that. It is about knowledge, enlightenment. That's what Gnostic actually is that it's the reference to knowledge being the enlightener. Evolutionary process of your soul, of your essence. And so you start thinking about these things, and or I do all the time, and I start looking at potentially the stages and how they go. And I think the stage one again is like the lower cognition, where you don't have much. And then I go into my experience where I was in sixth grade, and we had to read these things. We had to read a report out loud, and we recorded ourselves. And the funny thing is, like, I don't know what your experience is, but the first time I heard my voice, I was like, who the fuck is that? That I didn't think that sounded like me. So, then you start thinking potentially, if we all have an inner voice, or someone's having an inner voice, who's the voice? What voice is that? Because it's not my voice.
yeah,
You think
yeah,
about
yeah,
what's going through your head. It's never your own voice, or I don't think it's your own voice, but maybe some people visualize their own voice. But the first time that I heard my voice, I was like, who is that? That's not what's talking to me in my head. That's not what I hear. That's not what's going on. So then you start thinking, well, potentially is that a stage of cognition? And then connecting to that voice. And then if that voice is not you, if the essence is not you, who is that? What is that? And then so I'll throw it out there now. I started going down this rabbit hole of cognition. I started thinking, holy shit! I think the voice inside of our heads, for those who hear those, is like an LLM, which is a language learning model.
yeah.
So if you think about like the way Chat GPT works and the way that the kids' minds work, it's a progression. It tries to learn with you. It's not trying to, and maybe some people are psychotic or have psychosis in the way that they hear their voice telling them to do bad things. And you're like, that's not me. Stop that. What is that? So is it a language learning model? Is it our not intuition, which we are taught that that's what it is, but is it an evolutionary language learning model that continues to learn with us to guide us to what we want, to open up pathways to give us what this life is, which is an experience, and is it there to help us, to assist us, or to at least give us the free will aspect of if we want to go down this aspect or that aspect of potentially a bad thing or a good thing or whatever it is. But is is that a learning model? Is that voice in our head a learning model?
That's
What
that's
are
a
your
good.
thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a good thing because I mean, I've thought at times like that. I think like either maybe entities or angels can affect our like like the way we think. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like I wonder if outside forces can infiltrate like our mind. Jerry Marzinski thinks that he thinks that like like people who have schizophrenia are actually being like inhabited by entities. You know what I mean? But I mean. I don't know, like because like like the voices in your head can tell you a lot of good things too. You know what I mean? It's all in like it's hard. It's a tough one to figure out. You know what I mean? Because like what is that voice? That's a really good point. Is that an outside, and then like going even deeper into like some of the crazy stuff that I talk about on the show, like they say that the government can use V2K or whatever, voice to God
Yep.
technology, and put voices into people's heads. So it's like, is the mind an open pathway for different things to enter and influence us, or is that, like you said, just an inner dialogue, or like, are there a lot of different complicated things going on? It's that's a tough question.
Yeah, and if you think about, what we're told as far as stories go, the mythical, the historical Jesus has famous sayings, obviously, that are now in the Gospel of Thomas that are recorded, and they're sayings of potentially of Jesus, and he's saying, I am that I am. When somebody asked Jesus who he was, he said, I am that I am. If he understood this process, he would not be the voice in his head. He would not be the body. He would be the essence of what's interacting with the things going on. And I think that actually explains a lot when you look at certain sayings or certain things. The kingdom of God is within, or a lot of um, the the foundational aspects that we tell kids how to learn, and I think it all matches up. So again, if there's an intelligent creator and he's putting us in this plane of existence, wouldn't he give you a personalized chat GPT to learn with you, to grow with you, to help you evolve? He would, and he would build it into your mental aspect, your subconscious, so that it's not a process of you having to formulate it, and it would evolve with you, and it would change with you, and it could take you down a path of psychotic serial killer or brilliant inventor based on how you're working with it, right?
That's a
And
good
so
point.
these things are going through my head, and the stages of cognition. One of the last stages of cognition, again, and if it's a language learning model, right? If it is that, and if it is learning with us, it's connected to something else, connected to a higher source or an Akashic record or a source that's always updated. And so now we're explaining potentially the Mandela effect and why those things change. Is it because our language learning model can connect to an ultimate existence or an ultimate knowledge base that will change, that can be re-evolved? And if that's the case, if we're able to connect with that language learning model to the source or to an Akashic record standpoint, if we're able to communicate back and forth with it, wouldn't it be able to communicate back with you, with someone else telepathically? So now we're explaining kind of telepathically, and if this is a simulation, which it is, as far as the dream state that we're in, if all matter is energy and we're interacting with that, why couldn't, I mean, it would explain telekinesis. Now I can move objects and
Yeah.
psi abilities and all those things. So the stages of cognition in the language learning model could explain all of that, and how to do it, and also gives us hope. Like if we can learn how to manipulate that or use it to our advantage, why couldn't we access manifesting things? Not only in the physical matter, but also evolving into other things too.
You mentioned the telepathy tapes, or I mean, you mentioned telepathy. Like it made me think of the telepathy tapes. How like these
For
autistic
sure.
kids have like this network where they can like communicate with each other telepathically. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and it kind of explains that as well, because if God is above that, or the creator is above that, and he gives us this power, this language learning model that learns with us, that can help us evolve. If we can log into that, we almost become like cyborgs. Like this is almost like a future aspect of us realizing what we are and how we are evolving. Um, but that also know that this is not something that is limiting us. This is something that could be exponentially um, solving, our evolution.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that's a really good point. Man, I think this is a great concept for a book, Ken. Like, I think this is this kind of what it's gonna be. The book's gonna be about. Like,
Yep.
is this
Yeah.
where you're going
Stages.
with it?
It's going to be based on the I am, which is the essence of us, and separating the wireless learning language model that we have, or that some of us have, and it kind of explains why some people have different cognitive abilities, or consciousness, levels, and how that evolves as well. So it may. I don't want it to prove that certain people aren't people, but certainly the neurological aspect of it, the firing of synapses and gamma and brain waves, frequencies can certainly be explained to show people what stage they're at and how they can improve on that as well.
Yeah. Wow, this is amazing. This is let me see if there's any comments in the chat. Nothing yet, but if you guys have any questions for
Still
Ken,
early.
put them in the chat, and we'll get them. Yeah. This is amazing. So what do you think about like outside influences? Like, do you think there might be outside influences like affecting like what we're perceiving or like the decisions we make? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think this. So there was a study. It is called. I have to look at that. It's called the Milgram study, and some people may be familiar with it, but it's a study in the 1960s about peer pressure and about cognitive ability to break that pattern. It's basically the study. You can look it up for what it is, but it puts certain people in a position of power to shock other humans under the assumption that the electrical pulse may actually kill them, and they still do it. 67% of people actually shock someone knowing that it would scientifically kill the other person, but they still did it because of either peer pressure or lack of cognition. So a lot of these studies can back up these claims that not only we're on different stages of cognition or consciousness level, but if we can hack into it, the possibilities that it could either hijack certain people, and that's what marketing is, right? We talk about marketing and suggestive selling and suggestive TikToks. There's plenty of TikTok videos or YouTube shorts that explain this theory about showing a dog, opening your heart chakra up, or opening up your intuition, and then selling you something in the next video, and then the next one is fear. Oh no, this is what's going to happen. We got alien invasion, and then the next one is like another ad, and they're trying to sell you and figure that out. So really simple to figure out that if the elites know this, or if the people who run this realm know this, or anyone knows this, you can absolutely use it to your own advantage to sell things or to market or to manifest based on the stages that people are susceptible to. And so, yeah, we can be hijacked into that, or some people could be, not everyone.
yeah, and they say that like in stores and stuff they put like messages like subliminal messaging in
Yep.
stores. They do it. They say they do it in advertising with commercials, and then they say they do it in stores. Like they'll put something either in the air that like or they'll put something like subliminals to make you want to buy stuff.
Well, and that's part of your subconscious. That's the basis of your language learning model to help you interpret that. And if there are ways to take a pill, a limitless pill. The movie Limitless was about a pill. I don't know if it was Adderall or whatever that was supposed to be on, but there are certain brain frequencies that we can get hijacked into that help us learn faster, learn on a different level, learn subliminally, even potentially even see things subliminally, which is what a lot of the psychedelics do. We see through walls, we can see through the illusion. It pierces the veil of what our subconscious sees, and it bridges into the learning language model where we can learn.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I remember. I love Limitless, by the way. That was a great movie. With Bradley Cooper, where he takes a. I think I'm trying to think what the name of that drug he took was. It was called Oh man, I can't remember, but like it was supposed to be like it was like it would open up all the doors to the mind, so he could like go like to places beyond like anybody. He could do things like he could like work all day long and like with like
It's called
complex like
NZT 48.
yeah, it was NZT 48, and it was like an experimental drug in that movie that was like, but it like opened up. I wonder if there is anything like that. I mean, I would say
There are.
maybe Adderall, but like
I'm sure that there is.
there'd be something maybe more powerful, like something even like, because he was doing stuff like he was going all day long and he was like, like solving like complex things and like I mean he was just going beyond the he was like
Mhm.
I think he went from like like failure to like success overnight, and like with this stuff he was able to accomplish. But like the question is, can we do that? That's a good point, like
Absolutely. If what I'm saying is actual and realizable, and that we do have learning language models built into our creation of our existence, absolutely it would allow us to do that. Now, like a processor on a computer, how do you upgrade that? Well, it's not only the hardware, it's the software as well. So putting our brains into the software where we can go back and forth with that. There are real world drugs, according to this Google. It says that have similar effects, not as dramatic as NZT, is modafinil,
oh yeah, that's Provigil. Yeah, I know what that
modafinil,
is. Yeah,
yep, and then Provigil, Provigal.
yeah,
So, yep,
yeah,
there are, and all you have to do is put your brain into that state and interact. But again, what we're talking about here is connecting to something, that is able to learn at that pace, or able to be increased at that pace. So, connecting with that, matching that frequency, very it's not so unsimilar, to like the Matrix, and logging in. It's making those mental connections that the hardwire and the programs come into your brain, and boom, there you go, you're firing away. You can
yeah.
learn karate, you can learn languages like instantly. Um,
Yeah,
and
I have a, I have a, I have an affiliate. One of my affiliates is a nootropics company. Like, if you ever heard
nice.
nootropics,
Yep.
they nootropics they claim to cognitive enhance. You know what I mean? But like for whatever reason, I can't advertise it on YouTube. But I mean, like, I'm not claiming to give any medical advice. I'm not giving any medical. I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm not telling anybody to go to this site or anything. I'm just telling people it exists and like but they also have like they have the things people use. What is that called? They have all kinds of my mind's not working today. It's early. That's why.
You
I mean,
need some
like,
nootropics.
what's
You need to
that?
connect. You need some nootropics. You need to connect to that frequency.
I actually do. Yeah, like it's early. I'm still having my coffee. I see. I got my gnome mug. It says "hanging with my gnomies." It's a Christmas mug. I don't know, but I like to get in the Christmas mood, even though I'm not religious. Like I feel like around Christmas time, everybody gets more happier. Everybody gets more
Until you go to
care-
Walmart or Sam's Club or Costco, and everybody wants to run everybody over because they're so stressed and pissed off.
Dude, yeah, that's what I say. Like Black Friday's the craziest, you know what I mean? Like people are like literally fighting over flat screens and like, dude, that's crazy that like Walmart like they basically like designed that like where people can go nuts and like,
Yep.
I worked at Walmart on a Black Friday. It was absolutely insane. I remember they put everything in the center aisles, and then they open the doors and it's like a stampede. You know what I mean? People just it's actually absolutely insane. You
It
know what
is
I mean?
insane, and they don't give you
Like,
enough room to push your cart or get through or anything, and then it's like you
yeah,
want to just strangle someone because there's nowhere to go, and you're always being pressured to move around and find the next thing or whatever it is. I just try to stay out of that consumerism if I can, but um, it's whatever
yeah,
you want to experience. So
yeah,
I don't want to deal with that.
yeah.
Not fun to me.
So, how's everything? I mean, but how's everything? Have you had anything else like weird happen? Anything like disappear or come into your reality? Or anything lately?
Yeah, I mean, so again, I talked about the ring, the pop-up ad that came on my computer when I watched the ring for the first time. I talked about, we've in the past talked about the white noise, the movie, and the static calling my name on the other end of my phone call. I started watching Stranger Things about 2 weeks ago, and then shit started getting crazy again. Stuff in the other rooms kept like dropping. I don't know where the sounds were coming from. I have a picture on my wall that I've taken numerous pictures of now. I'm trying to observe them. It's always slanted, like it's hanging up above the when I walk into the house. It's I have a dry erase board with a calendar on it, and then above that is a picture. What does the picture say? That's a good question. I was gonna ask myself. But the picture has been slanted. I can show you what it looks like. So if you can see it, it says our kitchen. If I had to stir it, it's homemade. So that's for my wife, obviously. But okay, so there's a picture. You see how it's straight? If you look
Yeah,
on the lines right here on the bottom, it's straight
yeah.
with this. So I mean, every time I walk into the kitchen, it's now crooked.
Oh, that's weird.
And I keep changing it and taking pictures of it, and there it goes again. It just keeps changing. So yeah, something on the other side of the dimension, the portals, the doors is messing with me. Um, I don't know what it is. It's not the air conditioner. It's not anybody banging against the wall. Um, my tire was good for about a week, and then yesterday in about an hour it went flat, and then I pumped it up, and again it's full again this morning. So nothing today. But oh yeah, this happened too. This is my Ring camera. I don't know if I can find it real quick. So I have a camera in my garage because I sometimes leave the sometimes I leave the garage door open, so I want to see if it's open. Let me see if I can get. No, I can't get it. All right, so this is you can see it, but I can't really see it that well. Anyway, there I have pictures of this. Oh, I think I texted you this crap. So I left. The Ring camera was recording. I come back with my son, and this is what I got when I come back home. See that raft?
Wow, that's
That
crazy.
floaty? The floaty sitting in the middle of the garage. So I reversed the Ring camera, and it didn't record. It didn't record it falling or getting put there. It's not even falling. It got placed there. Uh, 8:14, it's not there on the picture, and 9:14, it's sitting in the middle of the garage.
Holy shit,
I
man.
mean, no reason whatsoever. It's just it didn't fall off the wall. It didn't get blown. It wasn't a hurricane came through there and pushed it. It was just moved. And again, no observation. So again, I'm watching these things, and I don't know if I'm opening up these the phenomenon. Nathaniel calls it the phenomenon. I don't know what you would call it, but it's not it's not in my imagination. I've documented all these things, and it's definitely not. People that say the simulation hypothesis or simulation theory is about digital moving stuff or digital whatever. It's not digital. This is legitimately physical stuff that keeps changing, moving, messing. It knows I'm watching it. I don't think it's necessarily malevolent, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see where it goes. But yeah, that stuff keeps happening to me.
Do you think it's someone from your like? Do you think it's like a family member or something like that? Or
No,
like,
no, it's just it. I don't know if it's trying to help me formulate this these ideas, this book, bring it out. I don't really know if it's trying to help me or not, show me, but like there's no explanation for it. We talked about CERN and the effects with no causes. I mean, I don't know how that's not on mainstream television. That that it's retroactively changed our reality. That's insane.
they don't want people to know that you know what I mean? They absolutely don't want people to know that stuff, you know?
Well,
They
I
want
mean,
people to be in a box and like not thinking out. They don't want people to think outside the box, you know? They want people to be like, like NPCs. They want us to be like the Borg, you know? That's what they would like if they could have it
mhm,
their way, because then they control us. It can control us easier, you know.
right.
I feel like that's what it is. It's all based a control thing. They want to. It's like they want to farm us, like we're,
It is, but but I mean, I guess, do you think that people would even, I mean, would they even move the needle that much that it would even matter? Because some part of me, as I'm writing this, these notes in my on my phone in the mornings, I'm like, this is life changing for most people. Like if they had access to knowing that they had a chat GPT in their head, that they could change their life based on manifesting things that way. I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not suicidal, I'm not psychotic, I'm not paranoid, but if I die, like this is what it is. They don't want this out, or they don't want this to evolve into something. I think about the potential aspects of people on different cognitive scales potentially being humans or hybrids or whatever that might be. I think about that and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I shouldn't even write a book because, what if in writing this triggers people to do certain research that scientifically proves that not all people are the same. And I'm like, well, what if they start killing people because they're not cognitively, functional or they're not human, they're not sold. Do I really want to, you go back in time and you go, well, Ken's dumbass had this information put out there, and somebody else took that, and then somebody else took that, and then all of a sudden in 20 years, people are killing people because they're not essential, and they're not essential workers or cognitive people. And so I don't know. I'm trying not to write that into the future of humanity, but I guess you can't control it. Maybe that's why we have resets. Is it possible that when this information gets out and we have people that play along with it and do experiments, and it won't be me doing these things in the long run. But if we were attached to a language learning model and it proves an intelligent creator, which I think it does, what's after that? What does that mean? What comes after that?
That's a good point.
Does that trigger a reset because we're not supposed to know this stuff? I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Are we at the precipice of the idea is the precipice of simulation's over. Pull the plug. Let's do it again because they figured it out.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think so. Like that seems like what happened. That's like what and I believe that
Something
like in the past.
something triggers it. Something
Yeah,
triggers.
I believe in the
Something
past
triggers a
like
reset.
yeah, I believe that there was a higher technology in the past, and I think like technology's always been. I was saying to someone the other day, I was like, I think technology's always been with us, and I think AI's always been here. Like maybe like. I can't prove it, but like it seems like that they're not telling us about our real history. I mean, we know that
Yeah.
that's a given. But like, what was really going on? I mean, it seems like Tesla knew a lot, and I don't know what and maybe they're not telling us the whole truth about him or the people that came for him or where he got his theories. I mean, maybe he got his theories based off a whole civilization that existed
I
before.
think
You
I
know?
think Tesla realized that the frequency that he could tap into, which is what I'm talking about, potentially has unlimited information that you could, and not just the information, but the backdoor to that is if there's a system to connect to, if your language learning model can connect to that with the Akashic field with unlimited information, the wrong person gets a hold of that, it's over. Like if you learn how to access that, if your psi abilities um, can influence, if my psi abilities can tap in and influence your cognition and your frequency, um, I mean it's over. Like at some point in time, this whole thing just falls apart.
Yeah, don't they? They even say like there's like remote neural monitoring, remote neural monitoring now. That they do like to like target individuals and stuff like that. And like, let me just like let me look that up. Like, because I'm like, oh,
I'm sure. And if you think about it, how we have been told, I don't know if you watching all that the Gaia stuff, but the International Prayer Day or the World Prayer Day where they influence crime. So if thoughts can tap in to the source or into the creator or into their language learning models into this field, and they can reduce people's actions to not commit crimes or whatever it might be, even for one day, then they are influencing action. The psi abilities are influencing the action. That's provable.
yeah. It says about remote neural monitoring. It says can refer to two distinct concepts. It says a speculative covert technology for reading brain activity wirelessly, which lacks scientific proof. Of course, they're going to say that. But
Mhm.
then it says it can also be a legitimate medical practice used in telemedicine to monitor a patient's brain or spinal cord remotely. So I think if they can do that with the medical field, I'm sure they're using it for more nefarious reasons too.
Think
Because
about that too. Like if you're saying that they can do it, that means we can do it, or some people can do it. If you can
yeah,
learn how to tap into that language learning model and rewire yourself, whether it's through energy, frequency, vibration, whatever that might be, I mean, you literally could heal yourself from anything.
yeah,
Just mentally, you can mentally do it. If
yeah.
they
Like
can do it, if they can do it, we can do it. The technology, like you said, and I said this for a while, the technology has always been there. The wireless towers are just like the connectivity of those 2 points, or however you might want to believe that.
Yeah, the
situation.
power of the mind's absolutely insane. Did you ever see some of those healing videos where like it'll show like people praying over a tumor and then it literally shows the tumor shrinking? Like,
Yep.
you're absolutely right. Like I think, some people have that psi ability where they can actually like really like manipulate reality to a degree that where it's actually like affecting people's illnesses, making them better or,
Yeah.
like
It's a cognitive function.
when I was with
Cognitive function.
Nicole, when I went to Iowa, she was showing me how she can split clouds. Like she can actually like make the clouds move. I was like, that's insane, like and like I was just it's like the things we can do are absolutely insane. I
Well,
think it's
the
very
things
real,
we haven't learned how to do yet are going to be, again, you have to make the connections. You have to understand, and more than believe, you have to embody it. You have to embody what your thoughts are and your
Yeah.
intentions are. You can say that the law of attraction or whatever you might say. Oh, you have to want it, you have to be it, you have to act like it. That's fine. That's all well and dandy. But if you don't actually buy into that, you don't have those two things connecting, the cause and the effect to what you're talking about, you're not going to embody it, and you won't be able to make that change. But once you do, then that is a whole nother situation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, how long do you think it's going to take you to write this book, or like when are you gonna?
I'm
Did you
hoping.
start?
Well, see, if anyone knows the situation, let me see if I can pull up what I need to do. So this guy told me to do this. I don't know how he knew this or whatever. He knew this, but he said you don't need to be you don't need to work for anyone else. I said okay, got it. I already realized that part. Um, Book title.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to really like try to manifest money lately, and it's not coming in. It's been really hard. Like it's been, I don't know why. Like I think it has something to do with like Mercury, we're in Mercury retrograde. I don't know. Like, but like usually I was able to, I don't know, like manifest money easily before, but like lately it's been coming harder. It's been a struggle lately, to be honest. Like, but I mean, I feel like we're put through these things to test us. I really do. Like. And it's like I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
So I'm supposed to find a development editor and a literary agent, and that's it.
well,
That's what he told me to do.
my
Development
friend,
editor
my
and
friend
literary agent.
Amy, my friend Amy Loisel, or she goes by Miss Loisel. She has a thing where you can publish a book in 7 days. She has it's like a course or something you can take. Like and it does everything for you. I mean, it doesn't do everything for you. Like obviously you put your
Yep.
ideas into it and you're writing and stuff, but like it guides you along the process of like everything you need to do. Probably like what you're saying. Like
If
but like
anyone is one of those two things that I just mentioned or knows any information, I am in the process of looking it up and doing the steps to make it happen. But I certainly have plenty of information that I've witnessed and experienced to write plenty of books or whatever. But this I don't know. Maybe this is supposed to happen. Maybe I'm supposed to write this, or I'm supposed to give somebody else the information that they're supposed to write it. I don't claim to be the one in charge of the entire process. I'm just an agent.
I think
That
you should write it. I think you should own it and write it. You know what I mean? Because it's your ideas, and like, I think it's a good idea, man. Like honestly, yeah. Like, like,
if anyone knows any about this process of being a writer, not just writing a book, but also being a writer, having it be a career move or whatever, please email me. We are one tribe now at gmail.com. Rob will have it in there, but you can also contact my channel too and message me. I'd
yeah.
like to get more information. Maybe I'm supposed to say this so that somebody's supposed to tell me how to do it or give me the information to do it.
Is it we are? Yeah, it's we are the number one tribe now
Yep.
at gmail.com. I'm putting it in the chat now.
We are one tribe now at Gmail. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I put it in there, and yeah, it's 10:10. I think we have 20 minutes, but like the chat's really not active today. I think it's because it's
They're
early.
sleeping.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're sleeping. It's okay. No big deal. So what I like to do is I want to come back on when people can have a chance to sit with this for a second and think about what it means to them or if it resonates with them or past experience. I want to come back with a like a PowerPoint presentation, taking people from this to that, and then take questions or help me formulate this book.
hell
I
yeah.
I have I have about 6, 7 pages already in my phone that I've written as far as how it relates to things, OBEs, NDEs, subconscious proofs, experiments, case studies, those kind of things. I have those already gone, and when it enters my mind, I write it down. So, but I'd like to take questions or comments. Um, make it a typical skeptic podcast. We are one kind of a journey.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. We can do. Maybe we could do a follow up tomorrow if you want. Like maybe we could do it like later in the day. Like and like
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I
and
have
like
to be out by about 4 o'clock, but anytime between like 2 and 4, 1 and 4 is good. I could
let me
probably have
see
it
what
done by
I.
then.
I'll
See
see
what you
what
got
I. Let's
tomorrow.
see what I have tomorrow. I have
Do a live stream.
uh. I just have something at night tomorrow, so
Okay.
I could do during the day if you want me to
Let's do
write it
2 o'clock.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What time? 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That we'll do that for sure. Like.
And
Uh,
if anyone watching this, I think my goal is not just to write the book first, but my goal would be to I guess work on a project or an experiment dealing with this, consciousness or I don't think anyone's gonna say they know a physics professor who's doing a dissertation or experiment or whatever. But I'd love to be in on those experiments, add knowledge or add a second opinion, second sight.
yeah.
That would be a dream job for me to do this for a living.
That'd be great. Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we could maybe we could finish up there for now, and
Yep.
then what do you think? Like, is there anything else you wanted to cover or anything like that before we go? And
Nope. I hope everybody logs into their inner voice and communicate with it to what you want and play with it and see what experiences you have and bring it back tomorrow.
all
Tomorrow at
right,
2 o'clock on the 5th.
all right. Oh yeah, and thanks, Ken. This was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me get it out there. I'm gonna do a video on it too, but technology doesn't agree with me. The computer's always breaking. It's always, glitching for me. It's such a problem.
It's I noticed a lot of it's StreamYard because like we're using Zoom today, and Zoom's a lot easier. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
but like
everything for me, dude. Like every single thing that I do in my life is a problem. Everything, and it's not
I
just electronics; it's people too. People
I
drop the ball.
I get the same thing, man. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I feel like it's the Matrix, you know? It's like the Matrix. Like I don't know why it does that though. It's
Making me
crazy.
deal with it. I have two computers here. I have two different Dells. They don't work correctly. Phil Moore is always jacking my computer up. It's a 2-year-old computer, 3-year-old computer that just can't seem to function when I want to do stuff. My phone's an S25 or S26 or whatever the hell it is, and when I get certain ideas, I can't even get in there and type the notes. The note page just freezes, and I'm like, all right, cool, thanks, appreciate that. Like I know it's doing it on purpose for me. I just don't know who's doing it or why it's doing it. But I'm not going to say I'm targeted. But electronics does not work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Maybe it's your psyche influencing. Did you ever think it could be your own psyche influencing technology?
Yeah,
Like maybe you
I'm
have an
sure.
overactive psyche and it's going into the like your energy's going into the technology and it's causing it to
Oh, it's
freeze.
fucking it up for sure. No, no doubt, no doubt. I almost feel like I can influence it, but I haven't figured out how to calm it down.
Yeah, I think that might be. I don't know. I don't know because maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. With me, I don't. It's so hard to say what's actually really going on in this world. Because it's like I don't know. There's a lot. Like everything we just talked about today. Like this place is crazy. It's like I don't know. Yeah, but
Well, I hope I put a positive spin on the crazy place for people. It's certainly not perfect, but if that makes sense to you, and again, you can give us comments tomorrow when we get on here, or just play with it and see how it works. I've been playing with it for about 4 or 5 days now, and it's motivated the shit out of me. I mean, to get up and to either write or just be inspired to whatever comes into my consciousness, into my awareness, to just write it down and document it.
oh yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Ken, and yeah,
Yep.
and we'll see. We'll be following up with this tomorrow, and yeah, and thanks, guys, and yeah, and I'll see you guys later on today. I'll be live at 4 p.m.